The iPhone 13 Pro is still one of the best phones to buy. Yes, even after 8 months of its launch, it's a solid option. Apple has perfected the Pro series phones this year, and hence the 13 Pro is holding up great. It's a phone that I feel you can buy even now and feel great about for 2 to 3 years. Its cameras are the industry best, and the performance is still great with no lags or slowdowns, and even the software seems to be less glitchy. Then the display is really great, and here the design and build quality is very premium and sturdy, and even the battery backup is surely not gonna let you down. And these are the reasons I can recommend this phone to anyone even now. Now by all this, I'm not saying that this phone is a perfect flawless one. There are issues, but those are not the things that's gonna spoil your experience. Like for example, this camera ring is a dust magnet whether you use a case or not, but then it doesn't affect the camera performance. Then the notch is old school, but that's something that you're not gonna notice after using the phone for a few hours. And here the stainless steel flat sides is a fingerprint magnet, but I think majority of the users will be using their phone with a case, and hence that issue won't even pop up. And about the battery charging method and speed, well, the lightning port usage is rough, but then I don't think Apple is gonna change it with the next generation iPhones. And also about the charging speed, well, here there isn't any super fast charging support, but to me I think 20-watt fast charging is fine. Like for example, a 30-minute charge will top up approximately 50% of the battery, and also if you follow the overnight charging pattern, it's just gonna make things much easier. Because if you do that with optimized battery charging setting on, the battery health will not be affected much, and also every day when you're gonna start the day, your phone will be fully charged for the day's usage. So you see that these are just stuff which surely won't spoil the daily user experience. And here I feel Apple this time has made the perfect Pro series phones. Now the 13 Pro Max has much better battery backup and a bigger screen, which is all great, but then for me, this size is the perfect one for a phone. It's not too big nor it's too small. It's a good size phone and its display is measuring 6.1 inches, and here the form factor is fine for one-handed scrolling, and it's an ideal two-handed phone for all the other stuff. Well, this design, which has been a slight tweak from the 12 series iPhones, seems to be still attractive. For me, flat sides are not that great in terms of in-hand feel, but then they offer more grip, which is a plus, and also right now, I do like the look of the flat edge iPhones. And here this design, as I stated earlier, has stayed pretty neat. I always use a screen protector and the screen doesn't show any signs of aging, but then about the case usage, I have used the phone almost 60% of the time without a case, and it's been holding pretty great. There isn't any signs of color fading or metal chipping, and even the matte back glass, it doesn't show any signs of aging. So from a design and build quality perspective, the iPhone 13 Pro has been holding very well even after this long. And actually things do get better with the rest of the stuff like this display. This 6.1-inch OLED display is just awesome. It's an excellent quality panel, and for all usage purposes like gaming, watching videos, social media stuff, or browsing the web, well, they all look great and is immersive. There isn't any tinting issues, and here the brightness level this display can reach is also great. Now this notch, as I stated before, is something that you won't notice over time, and the Face ID sensor in the notch is, to be frank, the most convenient unlocking method. And here the new thing for this display is the ProMotion technology, which is the 120Hz refresh rate. And this change is actually noticeable. So if you're an iPhone user and when you use the iPhone 13 Pro series, well, it's like everything is a tad bit faster. I mean, the 120Hz does make swipes and scrolls more fluid, and I really love it. It took a long time for Apple to do this, and now that we have it, well, it was worth the wait. And here, even though the refresh rate is high, well, Apple opted for the adaptive refresh rate option, so things are not always at 120Hz, which is a good thing because the battery backup is still solid. With a moderate to heavy usage style, I was getting approximately 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time. So it's like the battery in the 13 Pro does last a full day's use for me. And I feel most of the users will be getting the same one-day usage in terms of the battery backup. And here this battery backup thing is not only because of the adaptive refresh rate, but it's also because of the processor efficiency. The A15 Bionic chip used in the 13 Pro is surely the best mobile processor to date. In terms of efficiency, it does its job well, and it does things better in terms of performance. You don't even have to worry about the performance part from this phone right now, and probably for 2 to 3 more years, it's going to be the same. I mean, even if you do very intense stuff, the phone just flies through things, and also the phone doesn't get very hot. So that's the performance side. And now to another great feature of this phone, which is the camera system. Well, I'm going to put it simple here. If you right now want the best video camera phone, which also takes excellent photos in almost all lighting conditions, well then this camera system is the one for you. On the back there are three 12 megapixel cameras, which are the wide, ultra wide and telephoto. And here without doubt, the best one is the main wide angle camera because this sensor shift optically stable sensor performs perfectly for a phone's camera in every lighting scenario. The ultra wide also does take great shots, but then with this sensor it does struggle in low lighting situations. And here the not so strong one is the 3x telephoto camera because for it to work well, plenty of light is needed, and usually in dusky environments, the phone automatically uses digital zoom. Now as an added bonus, macro photos can be captured and it's done with the ultra wide angle camera, and the macro shots are actually good ones. But as I said, the best part of this camera is the video recording. It's sharp and crisp with a lot of detailing and perfect stabilization, and overall I can easily recommend the 13 Pro as a main video camera for YouTube or any casual purposes. There are plenty of options and settings, and if you want to opt for HDR video recording or ProRes videos, it's available. Well, cinematic video option is neat, but it's not something I prefer to use, and usually what I want to stick with is the 4K at 60 fps option with HDR off, and from that setting, the output is perfect. Now the video recording with the 12 megapixel front camera is also great, and it's something you can use if you're into vlogging. And also by the way, the selfies from this phone are good too, but then it's not that exceptional, and if you compare this with the iPhone 12 Pro series front camera, you won't notice much improvements. But overall, the camera system of the 13 Pro is still great, and here also I feel it's gonna function really well for 2 to 3 more years. Now that's the whole theme of this phone, even after being in the market for this long. The phone has aged well, and it will continue to do this in the future. Well, at the moment we are just months away from the iPhone 14 series, and that phone will have better upgrades, and hence if you're waiting for it, well that's the recommended thing to do. But if you're in need of an excellent phone at this moment, then the 13 Pro is without doubt a great option. It functions really well in the most important smartphone factors, and also it has all the features you expect from a 2022 flagship phone like the IP rating, 5G support, both millimeter and sub 6, industrial premium design, massive storage, excellent speakers, etc. And hence if you get one even now, well you'll surely love the experience from it. That's all for this video guys, hope you liked it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and also please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because it does help our channel a lot and you won't miss our future contents. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.